Would like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for just lots of cool things. And so we have some life lessons here today that we hope will change your life forever. And we've got a bright young man on. Payson, how are you? How old are you?
I am 10 turning 11.
10 turning 11. That's an awesome age. I remember when I was that age. And you got an award recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what was that award for?
Citizen of the year.
Citizen of the Year. Oh my, that's awesome. Like, how do you get that award?
Oh, how you get it is you have to do the right thing even though no one's watching and help others.
Ooh, that's some good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. That's really, really good. What's one of the things in the pursuing of the award? Did you pursue the award or did it just come to you or how's that work?
So you have to earn it by helping others and being kind and um helping do the right thing even though no one's watching.
Right. That's awesome. Was it hard to get the award or
I mean, it was a little, but
yeah. So did you have to work on it? Kind of work through it?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any stories or any specific lessons that you learned from it?
So, when I was getting my award, I knew uh that you always have to be kind and help others.
Right. And when people are kind to us and everything works the way we want it to work, it's easy being kind. But when people aren't kind to us or things don't work so well, then it's harder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. That's when it gets hard. Like, what? I'm supposed to be nice when people aren't. And it's like, so what we have, I don't know if you can see the screen, Payson, or not, but we can get you the podcast. We can get you the podcast recording of it. And it's called Quest for the Golden Dew. It's a decision making treasure map. And so, are you guys going to be able to participate in the Spring Fest at Riverside Retreats again or not?
Like, yeah, we won't be there.
Okay, not this time. Okay. Well, we need to get this over to you, Payson, because I think this will be a great thing for you. There was kind of a there was kind of a challenge that hit us, and so that's why we're doing the podcast is to kind of turn that into a learning experience for all of us. And so you had built up for this, award. You were looking forward to it. Your dad was looking forward to it. I remember, I think it was on Thursday morning when your dad had said, "Hey, yeah, gonna have it," or so, and looking forward to it. And then your dad wasn't able to make it. And so when your dad wasn't able to make it, um, like what did you know he wasn't going to be able to make it, or did you just he just wasn't able to be there? Did he call you, or what happened there?
So he called me off my mom's phone because my mom was with me, and he said sorry he couldn't make it, and then he would make it up for me, and then he got me a present, and then I'm very glad for that.
Right. What did it feel like when he wasn't able to be there for that for you?
I was kind of sad, but after all, it was okay. But I was just a little sad
Yeah. Um, and why was it okay?
because uh he works very hard for us, and he's the best dad ever.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So, so you're a very mature young man, for your age. And so when I heard about what happened, literally tears, flowed down my face. And I was hurt and sad and angry, just a whole bunch of feelings and emotions. Mauricio, like when you realized you weren't going to be there, like, what did you, what
I
were,
mean, like, I got really upset. Like I said, I was like to the point where I was like, I'm just done. Like I'm gonna quit. Like, but like I said, with my past experience, I know like when you're upset is the worst time you can make a decision. Like, cause it's not gonna go the way you want it to, even though it feels like that's what you wanna do at that moment. It's it really isn't.
right? So
Like
there's good training that Bricio has had, that don't ever make a life-changing decision in the heat of the moment.
correct.
And so, um, so I bear, some measure of responsibility for that situation, because, the systems, they didn't, the decision making and the systems, they didn't go ahead and they didn't come through. And um, so I'm probably a bit extra sensitive, being a father of 7 children and grandfather of 11. And so there was a situation. And so Payson, it's awesome that you feel the way you do. And it's awesome that you give your dad grace and mercy, and you understand he's working hard and he did everything he could within his power to do that. And there were things outside of his control. He trusted the integrity of the system, and then the system, let him down. And I'm part of that system. And so I let you down, Payson, and I am sorry for that. And I remember when my sons were your age, and there's time, Bricio, where you don't know if it impacts the kids more or impacts you more, Bricio.
Right. And I think it like impacts me more because I remember like when I was growing up, my dad like just working like my son said, like working so hard that he wasn't really able to be there for stuff like that. And
Right.
then once I have my kids, I made myself the promise not to be like that. Even though like I understand like like that my dad was working to provide, but I was like if I can I don't want to be that is gonna choose work all the time over his kids, because that's the way I felt when I was a kid, that my dad was just choosing work. But now that I'm like have my own family, I understand like it wasn't just him choosing work.
Right. It's
But that,
brutal. It's
yeah,
it,
like
it's hard. And
yeah,
so this is the thing that I'm concerned about. Like I want, Payson to understand, how sorry I am, how sorry we are. I want you to understand that. And so the thing that can happen on that unknowingly to the kids and unknowingly um, to the parent is there can be something that's called like a seed of bitterness. Like you understand, hey, but there can be a seed there that can go ahead and grow. And with a number of my kids, I had my oldest daughter when she was 15, where there was a situation I just missed it, I just missed something with her. And it wasn't a big deal, but it was a huge issue. And I could feel it in my heart. And then there was a situation with my other daughter when she was 14, and another daughter when she was 13, and then a son when he was 16. And in all four of those situations, my kids were very understanding. Dad, we understand, you know. And I think, like, with my oldest daughter, when she was 15, she went ahead and said, "Hey, Dad, can I talk to you before you go to bed tonight?" And I said, "Absolutely." Or she said, "Can I talk to you about something?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, "Before we go to bed, I'll talk to you." And I just forgot about it. So I was heading up to bed. She says, "Hey, Dad, we were going to talk." I said, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, honey. It's been a rough day." And she was very gracious. And I said, "Can we talk tomorrow?" And she said, "Absolutely." And so it's one time, right?
Yeah.
But I woke up that morning and I said, "Mark, you messed up so bad. Like, this is just, I could feel it." And that's the
Yeah,
kind of dad you are.
I understand that now, that like it might be not seem like it was a big deal at the moment, but like once you realize like how
Right. I'll
important it
never
was
get
for
that
them.
opportunity again. And there's nothing that can
Yeah.
ever give that opportunity again.
Mhm.
And so I apologized to her in the morning. We talked. I don't even remember what we talked about, but the situation left it's like it branded my heart. I was brokenhearted from it. I mean, just brokenhearted from it. And I don't know, a few weeks later, like she was, I don't know, upset, angry, something, like she was just moody. And I mean, she's a teenage girl, so she's 15. So I could have easily just, brushed it off. And she's a teenage girl, hormones, like, I don't know, like, what's going on, honey? Nothing, Dad. And she had all these feelings and she didn't know what they were. And so I think it's important for kids that if you're hurting, it's okay. If you're mad, it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have the feelings. It's what we do with those feelings that are really, really, really important. And Payson, your dad he's an amazing dad. He really is. I mean, and so she was upset, and I went into her bedroom. She was sitting on on her bed, and I said, "Honey, something's going on. Like, something's not right." And she's like, "This is fine, Dad." And I pushed her, I pressed her. I said, "Honey, like, what's going on?" And then she started crying, and she said, "Dad,
You
like,
can't
I
hear
asked you
you.
to talk to me, and you didn't." Well, I'd already apologized. We'd already talked, but it was still there. And I started crying because I had apologized. So a lot of times, like, we took care of it. We thought we took care of it. I thought I took care of it. I caught it. I went over it, but it was still there. There's still something that lingered inside of her. And she's crying and I'm crying. And I said to her, I said, "Honey, like, your dad said he was sorry, but honey, I'm really sorry. And if this bothers you, like, if I have to apologize 100 times, if there's anything I can, like." So a lot of times I think that we say we're sorry, and then we don't realize the hurt that can be there. And we have
Right.
this hurt at a heart level, and that can carry with us an entire lifetime. And so I don't want to make something more than what it is, but I definitely don't want to make something less than what it is. And so this podcast, Payson, this podcast could be heard all around the world. And so I kind of think of life as we want fragrant roses, we want we want things to look nice, smell nice, but sometimes we get manure. We just do. And it's just life. And we can take that manure and we can plant it, by fragrant roses, and we get a beautiful garden or fruit or something like that. So how do you know when you're really healed? So there was a situation, really hard situation when I was 19 years old that I went in that I was brutal. I mean, it was just, I'd never experienced that kind of pain, and went in for counseling, and he helped me to heal. Like, it was like crazy. And he said, it can come back, Mark. Like, it can come back. Like, you think you're healed, but then you're not. And so you address it again. Like, you're willing to go through the hard work. And probably 20 years later, went in for family counseling. And I explained that situation to that counselor, that therapist. And I said, yeah, this is what happened when I was 19, 20, 21. And he said, wow. And I said, I'm thankful that it happened. He said, I don't understand that. And I said, what happened, the pain, I've never experienced anything like it. But what I mean by I'm thankful from it is that it's given me so many understandings, so much depth, and so much like compassion. I mean, it's probably one of the reasons I'm so sensitive to this type of situation is because of that hurt back then. And he looked at me and he said, Mark, in my 24 years of counseling and therapy, I've never had anybody ever say that to me. I said, I'm not stupid if I could go ahead and be everything I am without going through that pain. Well, obviously, I'd like to be that, but I don't think I could be the man I am today unless I'd gone through that, because it gave me a tender heart. It gave me a sensitivity. It taught me forgiveness. It taught me compassion. It taught me sensitivity. So these little things can be big things in a good way, where it not only transforms our lives, but it transforms the lives of everyone around us. Payson, do you have any other questions or thoughts, buddy?
No, not really.
You're a great man. You're going to grow up. My mom, when I was 9 years old, I noticed that she liked sour cream and onion potato chips. So I had a paper out and earned some money, and I went, and one day on the way home from school, I bought some sour cream and onion potato chips. And because my mom, she did so much for me. And so I gave them to her when I went home, and I'm 9 years old. And she looked at me and she started crying. And the first thing my 9 year old self said, I said, women are weird. Like, but I knew it wasn't a bad cry, it was a good cry. She was so moved by it. And I remember thinking, women are so weird. And then she said to me, she said, Mark, you're going to make some woman the most amazing husband in the world because you're so sensitive. And then I realized, women are not that complicated. There's sensitivity. And that's good for business, because we should be sensitive to our clients like that. And we should be sensitive to all our team members and all the vendors, everybody. We should be very sensitive to those types of things. And it changed my life forever. And so, Mason, you've done a great job on your first podcast, buddy. Bricio, do you have any closing comments, thoughts, insights, anything?
No, I mean, like you mentioned before, like, you know, like nothing that we do is gonna change the fact of what we missed already. So, like, just learn from our mistakes and, you know, like move forward. Don't stay stuck in
Right.
the past.
When the thing is like my goal is to turn this into such a positive experience that both you and Payson would say, obviously, obviously we would have liked it to be different, but I'm actually thankful that it happened because I can see how there's much more benefit that came from it, not only for both of you and your families, but for a whole bunch of other people. Like often when we get hurt, we get focused on ourselves, and you both weren't. You both weren't in this situation, which is really cool and inspiring. But my hope is that you both will go, I'm kind of glad it happened because we got so much more benefit. We got so much more benefit out of it happening. And we're both different men because of it. And it provides a lifelong lesson, not only for us, but everyone else. If you're listening to the podcast and share this with others, right? Share it with
Yeah.
husbands and wives and kids and other people. You have any questions on anything we covered today? You'd like to learn more about Life Masteries Institute and some of the amazing things that they do to help, families and marriages and kids connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300 outside the US 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.